Yo, Man United is taking on a side known as Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, and obviously we're here to bring you how Eric Ten Hag is going to hate to name his starting 11 for the club of Manchester United. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, and never to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's shocking a little bit that Malacia is not in the starting 11 of Manchester United, meaning that Ten Hag is penalizing him for the mistake he did, according to me, because he just can't find himself in a position of not really bringing him in, because he needs to know that every mistake you do, you have to go ahead and really pay for it. That is the manager Eric Ten Hag, and really taking Terrell Malacia for really a punishment to see that he doesn't really do the needful that he did again as we really lost. To me, I call it as a loss because losing a 2-0 lead, stupid like that, considering the first go around the 84th minute, and then we concede the other one in the dying minutes, then to me that's a stupid lead. That's a stupid loss that shouldn't be really welcomed here onto the club of Manchester United. So guys, smash the like button, comment, and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to name his starting 11 for the club of Manchester United, and let's see who he has gone ahead to name and who is starting and who is not starting, who has made to the bench and who is really out. Now, we're having David De Gea, Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Martial, Sabitzer, Casemiro, Dalot, Anthony, Sancho, Wan-Bissaka. Substitutes: Butland, Jurado. I think this one is a defender. Williams, Eriksson, Fred, Pelestris, Dan Ikbo, Elanga, Weghorst. The bench is really worrying, guys, The bench is really worrying. That's why you see that even Brandon Williams is back, No Scott McTominay, no Luke Shaw. So looks like we are really having a hard game to play against a team known as Nottingham, because the first 11 is okay, but can these players stretch up to the 90th minute? That's the big question that most of you are really having in your head. Then for Nottingham Forest, Navas, Williams, Awoniyi, Gibbs White, Niakete, Johnson, Fruela, MC Kena, Danilo, Lodi, and Felipe. That is the starting 11 of Nottingham Forest. Then Hennessy, Worrall, Mangala, Shelby, Lingard, Toffolo, Sturridge, Dennis, and Jordan. It's not Jordan Ayew. It's Andre Ayew, who is really starting in as, I think, another attack-minded player for a side known as Nottingham Forest down there in the City Ground. Now, that's how Eric Ten Hag is going to name his starting 11 for Manchester United. But for me, my worry is simple. When I look at that lineup, I really get worried. I say worry piling up me because of the bench. The bench is really weak, and that has been contributed to by the injuries that we've gotten as Manchester United. So when you look at the starting 11 of United, the system that we're going to play is a 4-2-3-1. David De Gea in goal. We're having Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. Dalot left back. Remember in the match preview I told you that I want to be shocked if at all I see Dalot being played as a left back and Bissaka being played as a right back. Then Lindelof and Harry Maguire. This was anticipated that these two are really going to be playing into the central defense again, after having had lots of havocs done to the midfield in the central defense of United. The manager has brought them back into that central defense. But I think this time around, they're having Casemiro playing in front of them, and I think they might find themselves in a position of being covered on and protected a lot. But you know what it means when you're playing away from home. It's always a different narrative altogether. And Casemiro is playing the double pivot with Bruno Fernandes, as they predicted in the starting 11. Then Sabitzer is playing as a central attack midfielder. And then we are having Anthony, right attacking midfielder. Sancho is another player to really be played as a left attacking midfielder, and Anthony Martial is leading the line for the team of Manchester United. So that's how United is lining up for today. And I think when you look at those players, the only changes are Dalot for Malacia, Lindelof and Harry Maguire for Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. Then I think those are the only changes that he's going to hate to make. Dalot for Malacia, Harry Maguire for Lisandro Martinez, Victor Lindelof for sorry about that. Victor Lindelof for Rafael Varane. Those are the changes that Eric Ten Hag has gonna hate to make as a manager of Manchester United, as far as this beautiful game of football is concerned, as we take on Nottingham down at the City Ground Stadium. But when you look at the starting 11 of United, you trust it. You trust it that they can get a result. You trust it they can get 3 points at Nottingham Forest. That's it. Because we need to find ourselves in a winning position, as we saw in the game of Everton and Brentford, because Tottenham was beaten yesterday by 3 goals to 2. Newcastle was beaten by Aston Villa 3 goals to 0. So it just gives United a chance to really seal off this fourth spot. We win that game, obviously we are 6 points behind. We are 6 points ahead of Spurs, 3 ahead of Newcastle, and I think that gives us a very huge edge, because Newcastle has to play Tottenham Hotspur. Newcastle has to play a side called Arsenal, meaning that they might find themselves in a losing position, and then we can capitalize onto that as a team of Manchester United. So to me, I find it so much important. I find it so much important for this club of Manchester United to see to it that we find into a situation of really getting a win for this game of football. If we get a win, obviously the better. And the most important thing is that we are having Anton Martial. Let's utilize the first 45 minutes and score the goals that we deserve. Then we'll find means of really getting control of this game later, because game control led us to really draw against Sevilla. Let's get these goals early enough, as we did against Sevilla, and we can really control this game big and better. I think a player like Fred should be playing a very huge role into this game of football today. Then Eriksson, I expect him to play some good minutes this time around, more than 30, as he really used to play against a side known as Everton and Sevilla. So to me, I find United in a better position of winning this game from, because you can't rely on the bench. The bench only has Eriksson and Fred. To me, those are the only players that can come on and change the game of football. Maybe Facundo Pelestri, but you cannot trust him, So the first 11 is all what we have to win this game. If you are to win this game, our first 11 need to find itself in a position of really being so much pivotal and important to really kill off this game of football. And how do we kill it off? Let's really do the needful and take that ball to Nottingham, because Nottingham is not a football playing side. No, they are going to park the bus. After parking the bus, they'll find themselves in positions of after parking the they'll find themselves in positions of really hitting us on the counter-attack. That's what Nottingham is going to do. Let me not lie to you that Nottingham has a different plan altogether. Their plan is one. They are going to hit us on the break. That's their plan. They have no other plan as Nottingham. They have no other plan as Nottingham apart from hitting us on the break. So I don't know how you're going to do it. Are we going to play high line? I doubt, because Harry Maguire and Lindelof, you cannot really allow them to play high line, because they are not pacey center backs. If you had one who was really fast, maybe Varane or Lisandro Martinez playing alongside Harry Maguire or Lindelof, then a high line would have been welcomed at City Ground. But if at all there is no high line, then you know how hard it is. And we're going to be playing a deep line. So that means that we need to be relying onto the football intelligence and technical abilities of Anton Martial, Sabitzer, Sancho, and Anthony. We need to find ourselves capitalizing onto that to find ourselves in positions of really winning that beautiful game of football. So it might be that game that might be end-to-end, because Nottingham Forest might be having those fans really rallying against them, and they are going to put themselves in a position of really going hard on us as a team of Manchester United. Let's see what Nottingham has really gone ahead to really front as their force to take on Manchester United. Kyle Navas in goal. They are playing a 3-4-1-2. Felipe, McKenna, and Niakete. That is the back three. Nico Williams, right wing back. Freula Danilo, that is the double pivot. Lodi, left wing back. Gibbs White, central attacking midfielder. Awoyinyi playing as a centre forward, and Johnson leading the line two. And this time around, he has gone ahead to put himself in a position. He has gone ahead to put himself in a position of really putting into centre forwards to attack United. And I think he knows what this game needs to him. If at all he is beaten by United, his job is going to be in total shambles. If at all he's beaten by United, his job is going to be in total shambles. That is the manager of Nottingham Forest. So Cooper needs to find himself in a winning position to see to it that he doesn't really lose his job. Because if he's beaten today, I think the speculations that we are really put around, like were they 2 weeks back that he was sacked, and then Nottingham put out a statement that nullified all what they had accused the team of Nottingham sacking their manager, will come back to pass, because it is really hard for him to survive if at all he really finds himself really losing this beautiful game of football at his side. But even United needs this game of football badly, because we know what is at stake. What is at stake is simple. If we win, obviously, we find ourselves in a position of being 3 points ahead of Newcastle, then 6 points ahead of Spurs, yet we are having a game in hand. So that really gives us a clear position ahead of a team known as Newcastle and Tottenham Hotspur in this race for the 3rd and 4th positions of the Premier League table. So I think United needs to pull out all their strength today and obviously do the needful and cause what we call havoc to a side known as Nottingham Forest. Then I'm having Amidu. Rokani, I want to know about 2 players, Eric Bay and Phil Jones. Eric Bay is at Nice, and I don't think that recall is going to be made. For Phil Jones, he's a player that was not registered in any of the tournaments, neither that of the Premier League, UEFA Europa League, FA Cup, so no hope of him returning. And I think, have you seen Jurado on the bench? I think Ten Hag is ready to go on with what he's having. He's not willing to really put his team into a very confusing state by calling in other players to come in through, because he believes that he has gone ahead to really instill lots of discipline in these players, that if at all a player comes out of the camp of Nice and has not been part of the camp of United, then you'll find himself really disorganizing the camp. So I think he's keeping this to his players, and he wants to find himself in a position of not really giving up onto what he has gone ahead to build until now. With just 1 or 2 months left, I think he knows that the players he's having will handle this game of football. I'm having Amidu from Uganda, Nakasongola. We need a win. Obviously, we need a win today, because if that win comes in through, it would have separated us from teams like Newcastle and Tottenham Hotspur. So, Mwemenke James, Arsenal can't win the league. Draw with West Ham. That is it. Yeah, Arsenal have drawn with West Ham 2-2. The win is not yet over. As I told you, the calculation is simple. If Arsenal is to win the league, they have 2 options. Win 6 games and make 2 draws. 1 draw should be against Man City. For that, they'll be okay. But if at all they go away and really lose at Man City, then they'll be left with just 1 chance of winning their remaining games. Because right now, if at all City goes ahead to beat Arsenal and win their game they have in hand, City will be 2 points ahead of Arsenal, meaning that Arsenal will be losing the trophy. And Arsenal are really crumbling. Again today, they've gone ahead to really bottle a 2-goal lead. Saka got a penalty, put it out, and I think that was a mistake that Mikel Arteta did. You cannot hand such a penalty to a player like Bukayo Saka. That penalty needed to be taken by Jesus, a player who has been in these occasions for a very, very, very long time. And I know it's really a draw for Arsenal. And obviously for us, we are going to go ahead and really fight for a win today. So smash the like button, comment and share. If you're really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in on a daily. Now, we're in a situation where two teams, that is Nottingham and Manchester United, are all wanting these points. They are dying for these points and they want to bring them to each other that really get ourselves in a position of really winning this beautiful game of football. So to me, I think it's ending 2-1 in favor of United. That's it. I don't see Harry Maguire and Lindelof keep a clean sheet, but if at all they keep it, I'll come back here and really hail them in high esteem. So, Amidu, thank you for watching in through. James, thank you for watching in through. I sign out for now. See you later, my lovely mates.